The Roman Catholic Church. That's the name of a church, a religious group. It's a cult. There is no word of Christianity in the name, and that's what you have to believe in, okay? They tell you in plain sight they are the Roman Catholic Church. There is Roman in it, which is a worldly thing. So they tie their own institution to the worldly rulership. Then you have a word that is Catholic, and then you have a word church. Church is commonly used. That's nothing new, nothing fancy here. It's a group of people that comes together and believes in something. But what does this church believe in, or the people, the members of this church? They are a Catholic church. Catholic. There are two words in Catholic. That's cat and holic. And if you think I'm making this up, it's not like this. Holic is a name of itself, and cat is cat. Okay, it comes from cat, the animal. Just like dogma, dogmatic comes from dog, the animal. It refers to image-wise to what that is. Catholic, holic, is Greek, and it stands for pertaining to, or being addicted to, or holding close to something. That's why you get alcoholic, okay, because they hold close to the bottle. Alco does not mean bottle, but that's what it is, okay. Holic means you hold close to something, almost in a sense of worship. And when you put cat and holic together, then you get holic to the cat. Also, holic comes from whole and holy, holistic. It's all in the same, from the same root. When you are holy in the Christian faith, then you hold close to the word, which makes you holy. You are then sort of, that expression doesn't exist yet, but you're sort of God's word holic. That's what it means. It makes you holy because you hold close to it. When you have cat holic, or holic to the cat, then you gotta wonder, yeah, but what cat are they referring to? You know, what does cat mean in this whole sense, and what does it have to do with the church? And many people would say, what does it all have to do with Christianity? Yeah, that's the point. Nothing. It has nothing to do with Christianity. They just take Christianity as a veil and put it onto themselves for the charity aspect of the church. But at its essence, at its roots, and at its practices, indeed, it is not Christian. It is pagan. It is a sun-worshipping cult. In plain sight. They have an obelisk, which is the symbol of Egyptian sun worship, and it's right there in the middle of St. Peter's Square. And this whole architecture looks like a keyhole, almost like a woman's womb, and Baal's shaft is piercing through the woman's womb, through the keyhole, okay, because obelisks were considered as the stoned sun rays, okay. It's almost like a shaft, or Baal's shaft, what they say, the shaft of the sun god, okay. So it's all linked to sun worship, this whole church, and it's no wonder that they call themselves Roman Catholic Church. There is no word of Christianity here. They just take Christian beliefs, such as love your neighbor and all of these things, to create this whole veil around themselves, and people can't see through it, apparently, through this illusion. Can't see the false prophet for what it is. Their practices do not align with the word. They call their head Holy Father, when Jesus says, call no man on earth your father, only one shall be your father, which is the Father in heaven. And truly the Father in heaven, not the father of some organization, like the head of some organization on earth. which the Pope is, and he likes to be called Holy Father, and that goes against the very first commandment, actually, of Christianity, if you want true Christianity. So that must be clear. So back to the cat. They also call their buildings cathedrals. Hedral is a word, and cat obviously is the cat. Hedral means faced. It's also Greek, or shaped, surfaced. You have a dodecahedron. That means it has 12 surfaces. It is 12 faced in that sense. When you get cathedral, then what that actually means is cat faced. Because the cat was worshipped in ancient Egypt. The Sphinx is the most famous cat building that they built, and shows cat worship out of ancient Egypt. And not just the Sphinx, but you have also the statue of Bastet. You have all kinds of things that surround cats that tie into Egyptian sun worship and the whole cult that came out of Egypt, that is linked to pharaohs and the pyramids and all of this stuff. So is it a coincidence that the world's most powerful company that is into masonry and building huge buildings is called Cat and has a pyramid in its logo? Of course not. It's all linked together. So what cat are they worshipping? What cat are they holding to? Holy to the cat. The holy cat. The Vatican is the holy cat. It's first of all a metaphorical expression for the power of this institution on earth. It has worldwide power. It's the largest by territory and numbers at this point. And cat is linked to witchcraft. Many people forget that witches are usually portrayed having cats. Not because the cat is itself is mysterious or whatever, but the people believe that through these cats they have some sort of connection to the spiritual realm. Okay? And so cats were always portrayed together with witches. And so it's also not a coincidence that the most famous occultist in his book Magic, which stands for witchcraft, writes on page 6 about cat, the word cat, and how it's linked to Kabbalah and witchcraft. Very early on in this book, page 6, and it's also not a coincidence that it's page 6, that's how they do these things. Cat itself, when you have C-A-T, Latin letter alphabet, the word itself boils down to 6, the number 6. You get 3 for C, you get 1 for A, and you get 20 for T. Numerical values. You put them together, 0 you can leave away, and you get 6. So on page 6 there's a word that has a numerical value of 6, and it's all tied to witchcraft. And then you realize that in German witches are called Hexe, which is the Greek word for 6, Hexa. Okay? And when you see that, when you know that, then you can, instead of cat, you have a number now that is 6, and you can say it's the Roman Six-Holic Church, or the Roman Hexaholic Church. We're getting closer to the witches and witchers in plain sight. Okay? That's occult. Okay? They hide themselves in plain sight. That's what the word occult means. It's a cult. A large cult that is into coming out of Egyptian worship. Witchers is synonymous to deceivers. Deceivers of the world. It's the world that is suffering a great deception because the deceiver of the world is ruling on earth, owning all the kingdoms. And it's no coincidence that they have a building there. They always out themselves, not by word, but by deeds and through architecture. Because people don't put one and one together, they have no clue what anything means, where all of this is coming from. And of course, their newest building, it's shaped, designed to look like nothing else than the head of a serpent. And then you put it together with the biblical description of the deceiver of the world. It's the serpent, that ancient serpent. And ancient, why? Because it's all coming out of Egypt. That has been before Hebrew even. Before Greek and before the Roman Empire. And then when the Roman Empire was built, and then they took Christianity and they made it into a state's religion, hiding themselves actually, keeping their pagan traditions and practices and ceremonies that are all tied to astrology, witchcraft, all of these things, necromancy, all kinds of darkness, worshipping idols. When that was established and they could fool the masses with that, they brought over the Egyptian obelisk and they erected it right in front of the Vatican on St. Peter's Square to demonstrate to their gods that they made it again, right? Because Christianity and the rise of true Christianity through Jesus' appearance actually made the Roman Empire stumble. Everyone knows that it was falling apart, and one of the reasons was because of Christian faith, and many Christians had to die thereof. They were killed off. Okay, there was a real uprising, not some astroturfing that is going on these days with all the celebrities that obviously act as if they were converted but still stay in these positions somehow, you know. But they act as if they have converted to Christianity. It's all fake, staged show. But the Roman Empire that was falling back in the day, due to the Christian uprise, exposing all of their lies, through which they kept people in the darkness. All the polygod worship, okay? And then, once they got a hold of themselves again, and the Vatican was established and everything, which, by the way, Pontifex Maximus was the expression for the pagan high priest of the polytheism, of the pantheon, in Rome before the Vatican. was the high priest, the expression or the title of the high priest. And the same expression or title you get for no other than that so-called Holy Father, the Pope. Okay, so people have to become aware of this, especially people who are part of the Catholic Church. It does not align with Scripture, that's clear. And then when all of this was established and they fool you by saying, well, it's built on Peter's on Peter's will or something, like, it's all part of the illusion of the deception, of the lie that they tell you, the story, as if Peter was hooking up with some Roman people, statespeople, senators or whatever they were called, to create this church. It's all bullshit. Okay? They just like you to believe that story. So you go, well, it's all Christian. And look no further, right? But you have to look further. And when that was established, then in the 1500s, I think, or was it earlier, 500 after Christ, 500 years after that, they brought over the Egyptian statue, that obelisk, to demonstrate something to their gods, okay? Not through words, but through actual deeds, through a symbol, a demonstration, and architecture, building certain things, designing them in a certain way. There's a purpose behind all of these things, and they are demonstrating something to the universe, if you will. Not to the people necessarily, because they know the people are so blind and deceived. Most of them will not see what's going on here. Okay, they can just wave their hands, do devil horns and the 666 hand gestures and whatnot. They can just live in their wealth and show off, basically, right? How the Pope is doing, you know. Oh, he's waving his hand and the people are cheering up, living in his palace, so to say, being selected, not elected, by people you don't know even. They hide in a room closed away from the rest of the church, and that's how this whole thing works. Okay. And then people must wake up to this. Come out of this church and follow the truth. And now you know, and if you are Catholic and you hear this, then get out of this church. Come to the Father who is the truth. Don't waste another minute in this organization by faith, by spirit. Jesus said, call no one on earth your father or master or teacher, except the Father in heaven shall be your teacher, master and father. No one else. But if you are a member of a church, of an organization that calls its head Holy Father, your alarm bells should ring. Okay? You should wake up. And you should leave that church. If you really want to be a Christian, you know, maybe you want to be a Catholic, holy to the cat, be part of this whole witchcraft, this darkness, disguised as light in this world that is imprisoning people, then go on. But if you really want to be part of Christian faith, believing in the Father in heaven through Jesus or Yeshua, then you come out of that. You leave that church, because it has nothing to do with Christianity. They just take Christianity, the parts that they like, and they veil themselves. So consider this a revelation, a revealing, a reveiling. That's what the word actually means, reveal. There is a veil and we expose it. We reveal. From back or from against the veil. Okay? Taking the veil back. Opening the curtains here. Okay? And then you realize Jesus is the truth, the life, and the way, truly. And no one comes to the Father except through me. And whoever believes what I say, believes in the one who sends me.